So, our core beliefs. Well, obviously, we believe in God. We believe that we have a creator, that all of this was created, that we are ourselves, not just our human body, but our souls, our eternal being was created. We were born. We were brought into existence. However, our conception of God, which for those of you who don't know yet, this is not from reading books. This is not from studying philosophy from any culture anywhere in the world. This is from a vast amount of repeated spiritual experience on my own behalf. I've had literally thousands of out-of-body experiences and countless miraculous, unexplainable, well, I can explain a lot of it actually, but unexplainable in the traditional terms, experiences of spiritual reality from within the body. And I am now what you could call an energy master, which means that I'm more focused, I'm more aware of my energetic body, which dwells within the physical, than I am of the physical reality itself. Or more and more, as you come into a state of energy mastery, you begin to realize that everything is spirit, that the so-called physical world is just a great compacted density of the same stuff that worlds of spirit are made from, which is energy, spiritual energy. Everything is energy. So we believe in God, but we have a much different or a much more expanded and realistic idea of what God actually is than what's taught in the traditional religions. So God is a consciousness, and God is the supreme consciousness. And when I say consciousness, I want to make sure that that's understood correctly. So I don't mean consciousness in the terms of this is a state of consciousness that is for you to achieve, although that is a part of it. I mean consciousness as in a living being, a living, self-expressive, highly intelligent being, just like us, but on a whole another level. God is the supreme consciousness, although it is also a state of consciousness that you can obtain, which is true of all living beings. It's even true of myself. Michael Monk is a state of consciousness that you can obtain. We are all one through the reality of collective consciousness. We are all a part of each other, and when you begin your process of soul expansion, you can expand your awareness beyond yourself and begin to know yourself as being more than just yourself, but the world around you. You begin to realize the oneness of everything. And once you realize that, you can grow and you can learn from your brothers and sisters in your collective consciousness by realizing their personality, their knowledge, their wisdom, and their energy within your own being. So God is the supreme consciousness that we are in devotion to, with three primary manifestations. It's been said in the religions and the Bible and so forth that there's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and there's truth to that, but it's highly sexualized towards the masculine. It's not the entire truth. So God does have three primary manifestations, or aspects, but they aren't sexualized like that. There is God, what I call God, the parental consciousness, which is God in the surrounding. So if you can imagine a force that surrounds the material or the vibrational universe, the source energy, if you can imagine that there's a consciousness that surrounds the entire construct and is looking back within to tend it, to inspire it, to take care of it, that is God, the parental consciousness. And it interacts with us through our own psychological symbology of what we are used to here on earth. So it is our parental consciousness. It is God on the outside looking into the inside for the purpose of caretaking. And so God will appear to people as the mother or as the father. And this has created a lot of confusion in the past with, well, what's the name of God? People have warred and fought over what the name of God is. And although it's been a very long time, people used to even argue over whether God was male or God was female. Well, I've had a vast amount of direct interaction with God, both inside of the body and outside of the body. And I can testify that God has come to me in the form of the mother just as often, perhaps even more often, than God has come to me in the visage of the Father. So the parental aspect of God is what is on the surrounding, is on the outside looking in. And then we have the Christ aspect of God, which once again is not just the son, it's also the daughter. That both sexes are represented in the Christ. What the Christ is the universal core of reality. And you may not have learned this yet, but you will as you embark on your path of self-mastery. You will learn that you as the observer are the central point, or that everything that you see on the outside is a manifestation, is a projection from that which is within the self. So the true center of the universe is deep within your own being, so deep within your own heart that you couldn't cut yourself open to find the center. It's deeper inside of yourself than all of the substance of what physical reality is made of. So God the Christ is God on the inside looking out. It is God in experience, and we are all a part of the Christ. We are all Christ in the making. It is our destiny on each of us. We all have the same destiny in some terms, which is to find God within your being, and that is the Christ. That is the sacred heart of Christ, which is why we see so many graphic representations of Christ. He's always pointing to the heart. And same thing with the Divine Mother. You see them both of these artistically represented. It's important to understand that God inspires nearly all artists. So much of art and cinema and music is divinely inspired, because whenever an artist goes into an alpha state, an alpha brainwave state, in order to receive inspiration, it's an open invitation to co-create with the divine. So for those of us with eyes to see and ears to hear, we can see how God has communicated with us through time, through music, through art, through paintings, through architecture, through language, through everything. So the third aspect of God is the Holy Spirit, which is everything in between. The Holy Spirit is the omnipresent source energy that permeates all of creation. So we have God the parental, which is God on the outside looking in. We have God the Christ, which is God on the inside looking out. And then we have the Holy Spirit, which is everything in between.